Gafal was on lethal HP. So many people in that mid-ground tarp that are now engaging Fremont and his dual partner. 9 eliminations between them. They just hit top 10. 2 rounds of placement points. What in the world? A 14-point game, 15-point game.
Yeah, and we just talked about Camo Innis's performance, and Fremont and Kong right now making their way towards one of those. That will push them up the leaderboards. They're at 66 right now, and maybe making a case for them to go to New York. Fremont and Kong, a little bit of a break right here. They're going to drop those turrets out, make sure that that's not going to be in the trap rotation. He's going to get it. The trap doesn't go. Oh, yes, he did go in, but not going to manage to do it. Finds Rasco regardless, and now his teammate as well. He actually finds Kubex too as they drop down all together, but it's now only Fremont. And look at this gaggle of players down below. I don't know if they're going to be able to all survive. Right now, Fremont does go down, and it's now Tux and Vorwin against Edwin on his own. Tux goes down and already finds the shots, and that's going to be the victory royale for Tux and Vorwin.
They played that so well, right? Like, they just waited. They knew, and especially 8 eliminations. An 18-point game, this is massive. This also, we saw the other duo was at 62 points. They're now at 66. So you got to think they're contesting for at least top 5. But for them to realize, like, look, everyone's down below. They're all fighting on that low ground tarp. Let's just hang out in the sky. Let's just do what we do best, wait this out. And, of course, everyone, like fish in a barrel, comes to them. But look at this. Stompy and Shinken here. The little thin pancake. Who belongs in my heart forever. I mean, these guys, I don't know what else I could say about these guys. Like, the fact that they've been on top of the leaderboards weeks in a row, you've got to think this is a favorite going into Fortnite World Cup Finals. You have to.
I think, I'm looking at everybody using the hashtag Fortnite World Cup and all the predictions going in for New York, all the different personalities starting to make their opinions known. Everybody is putting Stompy and Shinken way up there, if not first and second, because they are dominating week after week, and I think we are in for a treat in this game because they're getting close and they're in the end game, and this is honestly, I think this might be the first time we've seen them, and you know what they do in end game, Zeke. It is crazy clinical Fortnite.
They absolutely terrorize the lobby. They just, everything they do is about how can they get an edge up, and then they make sure they're almost like squeezing the life out of you very slowly, right? Suffocating is like the word my mind went to, but it's kind of just like they're bringing the wall.
It is that.
It is that, right?
Because like when they do find an opportunity, they pounce so hard and so fast, and you have no time to react, and they just come from multiple angles, just like this. Stompy from above, Shinken on the bottom, and he already takes down 1 carries exactly. You see Shinken switching to him right now. He actually can get right behind him, and he finds it, but does now need to make sure that nobody is going to take advantage of the fact that Stompy is down. You can see immediately editing him down all the way because he needs to change position. Everybody knows they just got an elimination in that box. And I think Freddy and Snagged right here are going to see if they can take advantage here. They're definitely getting the loot, so maybe that's enough for them.
I think they're going to get the revive off. And don't forget, Shinken actually has a Chug Jug in inventory. So he's going to be completely okay. He passes it over to Stompy. This is good. Now they have to have the 15 seconds. This is where things could get a little crazy, right? Because we saw the duo up above. If they decide to challenge, Stompy is not in fighting condition right now.
Note there that Stompy went so far away from where that initial fighting was and goes all the way to the farthest spot, not only for the zone, but also for anybody trying to find out where you are. And here comes the launch pad from Stompy. They're going to move ahead. Ooh, a nice little short launch there by accident even, but I'll take it if I'm Stompy.
Absolutely. And just to reiterate your point, these guys are playing at the highest level possible, right? They know what a Chug Jug sounds like. Those sound cues are so very distinct. If you're sitting in a box and you hear that sound down below, you're like, we're going down, let's make some edits, someone's on critical, we're gonna take him out, and that's why he moved so far away, to make sure no one knew what was going on. So huge. 23 duos left, 39 players. Right now they're making a rotation. You've got people out in front, which is good, and they're still staying close by, which is really gonna maximize their efficiency here. A lot of people going down in the lobby as well.
I think staying close by is something we're actually not really used to seeing from Stompy and Shinken. We see them trying to take over the lobby and get as many opportunities as possible, but what is that from Stompy? I mean, but one of the things that is very important here to note is their mobility is starting to look scarce. All that we see on Stompy right now is that glider redeploy. They already used their shadow bombs, the launch pads, because of the position they were put in. They couldn't rotate early. So here, staying together, making. Oh my goodness, he found
got a rift.
As I say that, the rift to go, the almost most valuable item at this point in the game, because not only are people rotating in the congested zones, but they're not looking up, because that first portion of the movement, everybody is looking to see, where do I need to go next?
And they've got a great bird's eye view, right? They're slowly descending on. You've got Alpha there going to drop down, but look, so now they're going to make the decision. We have to contest.
Oh, they knocked out.
Someone just brought the entire structure down. It depends on what they decide to do. Look at Stompy. He's already trying to contest for the high ground, and Shinken had to stop for just a moment to get that mini off. He's got the Shadow Bomb, but I don't think he wants to use this right now. He gets cracked from behind. The Slurp is still ticking right now. He's just got to get himself into safety. He doesn't have any other utility baller, like a campfire, that would help him right now.
Yeah, but possibly Stompy does, and he's right on top of him now. So great, staying together. They're glued to each other, almost in another elimination. First finding it before moving out. He gets stuck in the cone, but he's got to cover himself first. Does end up going down the zone. So perfect play here from Shinken, and he's moving forward. And they did get in the top 15 just now as well with those 2 eliminations.
And just the way that Shinken is like fluidly chaining eliminations back to back. And remember, if you don't finish that player off, there's a little bit of time before that siphon comes through. There's a player in the box. It doesn't even matter. Nevi gets shut down. They're on 11 eliminations right now. They're about to hit top 10. Bala, they're playing out of their freaking minds.
Nebi, one of those players who was towards the top, him and his teammate from Evade, and getting shut down here from Stompy and Shinken, 2 people who have already qualified, who are not playing for qualification spots, but playing for keeps. Right now, they're showing off why they should be at the top of the leaderboard, and we just talked about it. We were like, where's Stompy and Shinken? Because there's nobody who's qualified at the top of the leaderboard like we're used to seeing, but maybe after this game, things are going to change, but the Heavy Snipey coming in. Heavy Snipey?
Snipey, yeah, absolutely. Snipey coming through. Now, don't forget, they're also at 66 points. We've seen 3 duos now with that point value. And look at this, Stompy's got to chain together these eliminations. Shinken is down, but it's okay. Stompy's been in positions like this before. He knows how to clutch these games up. The campfire is rolling, Bala. He's getting back in that rhythm.
Getting back in that rhythm and achieving top 5 right there, that last placement threshold before the Victory Royale. So all he has to do.
Here we go, the key to all doors! Oh my! Okay, I'm gonna lose my freaking voice after today. I'm telling you right now, Stompy and Shinken are putting on a show. The European queues are done as well. It's a free-for-all right now. Also, Pewds goes down a rocket from up above, Bala.
Just barely dodging that. And now he's up to 10, 15 total for this duel. It's a 1v1v1. He's hunting the player down on low ground, but he can't get in the zone. I think that's going to be the end, because Katsus is looking right at him. Now, has the Chug Splash. The RPG just barely is going to hit the wall in front of him. Using the Chug Splash and the campfire, I don't think it's going to be enough, because the player up above probably has more in the tank, but he's going to come down. Is it going to happen? No. Massey is going to win that game against Cactus over the heel off there, and that is just an unbelievable sequence of events. We followed Stompy and Shinken from the beginning, and look where they ended up. 15 eliminations, the most out of any placement thresholds besides the Victory Royale. That is a performance for the ages, and a reminder of why we need to be scared of them going into New York City.
That ain't no little tiny thin pancake, bro. That's a big old beefy pancake covered in delicious syrup. You like to see it. But of course, guys, there's more Fortnite action. We've got more games hopping in right now. Got Dervig and his duo partner. They've got their eyes set on another duo sitting in a box. I believe they've got double heavy snipes. That's why we'd ping this out. A single shot's going to come out and wait for it. Okay, so they're going to break this wall. They want to get a little bit of a better vantage point. That's smart, right? Because they're over that little lip there. Nope, they're not there. But now you've made you've made the heavy sniper known, right? Now this other duo is like, well, they're looking to take shots. You know, the panic launch pad.
I don't necessarily know if that's panic.
Right.
So they are in the side of zone, making their way in, and you can see now Drivig and his teammate Waldo are going to go in, but he box fights indeed, gets Wetbrow right out of there, no chance to react at all. And that is something that you can catch people by surprise, is they're trying to make that rotation, right? They're trying to figure out what their plan is to go forward. And because of that, they're all looking around. They're not paying attention to the fact that they're not covered. They're not paying attention and listening to the fact that there's a heavy sniper coming in, or just a pickaxe even, from one of the most obvious locations right above you.
And I mean, you saw them separate for a moment, him and his dual partner, and now they just use that rift to reposition and get to go close back together. You got Marcote here and Squalls K. got no, well, excuse me, Marcote here has got 6 eliminations. Again, this is almost unusual, Bala, because I feel like, you know, semifinals are typically the day where you find a ton of players sitting on mountains of eliminations, right? Borderline double digits at times. But on finals day, very rarely you see that happen. You see eliminations be picked up toward the end, right? When you break that placement barrier and then you're like, I'm just going to catch people making late rotations. But that's not been the case today. You can tell players they're ready. They are so hungry. They want those tickets.
You can almost feel the pressure that they're feeling, that they're playing with, right? The high eliminations, they have to go for it because it's all or nothing right now in this moment. There's only 4 spots left up for grabs in EU. That isn't much out of all the players who are playing and out of the top 1,500 that made it from semifinals to today.
That's right. And remember, we recently saw the highest point value we've seen is 66. So we know that's like, we'll say top 10 at best right now. But look at everyone in the sky all hanging out. May have been a Rift to go, a community launch pad, a potential guy. Yeah, the vents are right there over by the hot spots. Right now, Alphen, Mark, they're just chilling, trying to find more eliminations. Any at all would be helpful. They find one.
That stink bomb coming to great effect as players start to make all their rotations, and it was a perfect opportunity to use it because, as we saw, there were so many players in the sky, and those players in the sky are all going to end up being low because of everybody else looking right up at them. So a good opportunity for a lot of people to find eliminations there, but I'm going to opt to Rift as they start to get pressured and as the 7th zone starts to move.
This is going to be a little bit weird, right? Because remember, we're fighting in that biome that's like forest, the big tall trees. Depending on where we go, they could potentially land on the top. Let's stream Vato there in the bottom right corner for just a moment. They're in this game, and remember, they are looking to qualify. Wolfies and Rojo, we saw them earlier, right? They were in top 5. Yeah. They're still here with 65 points.
For some context, when we first checked in on the leaderboards, it was Wolfies and Rojo who were in the top spot, but they did get overtaken by Vato and Sky, so this might actually come to a head. Those 2 teams facing off in this game. Here's Wolfies getting in that box. He's going to take out Jachu from behind. But his teammate coming through with the trap, not going to be enough because Wolfies, the quick edit's going to go back on top of him and does find the elimination. Precious goes down. Even using the turret there, I mean, I'm wondering if that was a panic or an accident. But it's going to work out perfectly because if anybody was playing down below, he actually doesn't have to spend a cone there. It's not going to go down. It gives you extra HP on that floor.
And look, dude, they're still in this. Sky and Vato, they're in that middle ground tarp. They're actually going toe-to-toe with Wolfies and Rojo right now. This is the duo that they're fighting. So look, they actually have 70 points. This is now the new highest total we have seen. So it must be another 2 points coming in. They've hit top 10. The next threshold they're looking at is top 5 Bala. It's coming down to the wire.
And you can see how careful and calm they are playing. They're making sure that they spend the time to use their heals, use their items, because if you don't use them, you're going to lose them. And finding one that's Dryvig who goes down, and they're still pushing for that top 5. They're still pushing towards that victory royale and looking really good while doing it.
I thought that was Wolfies and Rojo. I thought with my heart of hearts. I believed it. And look at this. Watch the top left. Rojo finds another elimination, so you know he's alive and kicking. They've hit top 5, 75 points over on the Lestream duo. The French-speaking community's got to be losing their minds. Up above, you got Mark and Alphen as well. The question is, where is Wolfies? Where is Rojo? Where are they in relation to each other? This duo right in front of them very well could be them. Or it could be Alphen and Mark. It depends. I want to see this hide wide, man. I almost want to see a 3-box. I got to know with my heart.
Well, the trap going in there is definitely going to de-incentivize Sky and Vato to go in, and there we can see Mark and Alphen up top. Wolfies and Rojo down below. They take out takeoffs, and now it's all time to go right down. They know exactly the situation, but Sky gets taken out right away by Wolfies, and they're still fighting. Vato goes out. Rojo and Wolfies take the win there, and they're still going. There's only 2 players remaining. It's a 1 versus 1 right now. Low HP though, and Smoke, Mark, and Alphen are going to come up from the top and clean up house.
That was insane. They ended with 77 points. That extra 3 points would have probably helped get them to that 80 threshold and just help build that lead. But this is absolutely insane. I think, Ball, for now, we got to send it back in the studio. We got to meet up with Pookie. We got to see how things are going. So, Pookie, let's send it your way.
Thank you so much, Zeke. I am here in the studio. Those games are absolutely wild. EU is, like always, not disappointing, that is for sure. But I am joined with my good friend Sundown. He has got some clips for us. I know you got a little bit of Stompy. Can't wait to see that. Show us what you got.
Yeah, let's actually jump in right here with some of the duos who have been popping off so much today in the last block. First off, we had the VAR duo of Refscar and Hackscore being able to put a ton of work on the mid ground. So first, you can just see catching the players who are trying to rotate through, putting the legendary infantry rifle to work, finding Comey there. But watch what happens on the rest of the mid-ground tarp. That's one thing we talked about, being ready to fight at all times. Catches Booth right there, 0 ping, won't save you as Refscar, then immediately edits around, checks another angle, gets the cleanup on Idra kill. That wasn't his knock, but the materials that he ends up getting from that was huge. But Hackscore is then covering the other side, is able to get the other part of the Valhalla Vikings duo, and now they're going to work. Benji Fishy, one of the best players in the world, going down on the backside, brilliantly done, and Hackscore picking up another one on the Impact Fixie, fragging his way into the top, but wasn't able to close it out. Tux now, on the other hand, was a one-man wrecking crew here. Just watch him going to work on the backside of the storm and putting the combat shotgun to work. I mean, for me, you can tell it got adjustments there with how Tux is just lasering people. And then that shot was so good, catching Nipsey in shadow form as he dropped down around the side, and he wasn't done yet. Again, we've talked about the power position that is the high ground when you're able to work from top down, close the bottom of the store, and Tux and Vorin just close out here, making sure he's phased through the floor to get Edwin. Now, we've seen a duo trying to qualify. Here's a duo who has already qualified and are potentially one of the best in the world for this part of the competition. Now, got the trade off there. Shinken gets the revive onto Stompy. He's sitting currently at 4 elims. They're on 6 right now, but let's start counting, because Stompy is going to go to absolute work, and this is just catching people in rotations and being aware. The quick double right away pushes them up to 8, and that was Melside too on the backside of it. Now they're up to 11 because Shinken was able to go to work, but the revive on Stompy ends up being the difference because he's able to push through. Finds Mashus right there, now up to 12 as a duo. You will see Shinken go down on the backside there, so Stompy is just going to continue being a one-man wrecking crew on the tarp, up to 13 as a duo. Heavy snipes his way in, doesn't slow down, and continues pushing the pace, picks it up there, but unfortunately wasn't able to close out for the victory route. Stompy putting on a clinic, showing why he's able to contest for the very top. Now, as we talked about, the queues are closed, but we're not done yet. We want to see those final matches and what's left, Books.
For sure. Now, interestingly enough, I had the opportunity to speak with Stompy the other day. You know, we exchanged a little bit of back and forth about how he's feeling for World Cup. Him and Shinken are practicing 12 hours a day. They are going into this hard, and from what we've seen, it certainly shows. But you know what? I can't wait to get into more games. Zeke and Bala, let's hear from you.
Pookie just flexing all over us right now, talking about how she's talking with Shinken and Stompy. That's cool. I also talk to players. No, it's not, Pookie.
Don't cry on us now, but
it's already cried 6 times. That's a 6. All right, Fortnite fam, we are back.
And we're tuning in with Pyro and Destiny's Jesus right here. Destiny's Jesus is definitely somebody that's been on a lot of people's radar because, you know, we all learn from this guy. Everybody's watching his videos because every single day it feels like he's coming out with a new technique on how to box fight or how to build fight. His partner Pyro right now, they're slightly split. We'll see if they're going to be able to find any picks on the way in. Do find Wolfie. It's not the Wolfies that we saw from the other game. So just to keep that in mind right here.
Different Wolfies. So let's reiterate. We did not look at standings. But we know like 77 points is the highest we've seen at this point, right? So for Pyro and Destiny's Jesus, especially with maybe the last few games, they've got to make some really big things happening. Right now, Pyro is saying, don't even worry, fam. We've got you. We're going to pick up eliminations left and right. They've also hit the first round of placement points. This is going to be super, super beneficial for them.
Yeah, and when I said they were split, I didn't actually realize that they're not even split at all. They just kind of have 2 different angles here that they're approaching. Finding picks right here. Destiny's Jesus looking down that south side, and Pyro looking over towards the east. And finding those eliminations, not only does he have those, but he's feeling comfortable because he's finding those picks, getting the siphon, all that. They're getting themselves healthy, but he has 2 rip-to-goes as well in the inventory as Carnage is to go for Heavy snipe, but oh, that is why you kind of need to make sure that you're not going into these situations, these end games, with low white HP, with low health, because if you don't have any bandages or anything like that, you're not going to be able to recover that without siphon, right? And if somebody is carrying, by chance, some stink bombs, and they realize, hey, I can go ahead and throw this on this box and get 2 people ticking down at the same time, that's value from that stink bomb, and also finding an elimination because he was low, too low to even survive even a tick from it.
And I mean, they made it very known that what they were trying to do, right? The first heavy snipe came in and blew the wall out. At that point, you got to just build a wall, re-edit your ramp, and then just like move a 1x1 space back, right? A grid space back, because you know what they're trying to do, and you got to expect. I did not expect that. Another stinker here, and this is what I'm talking about, right? You already see the players trying to get away from the stink bomb there, but in a similar fashion, you got to be ready. You got to think, what could they have at their disposal? They're trying to pressure us right now, especially this position. We've got to be ready for a stink to come in, but right now Carnage going to look to reposition. Pretty good spot right now on this far side of the circle. Now he's just waiting.
Heavy snipe comes in, the tree's in the way though, and I don't think there's a player directly in this box. He might have thought, because the tree was in the way, that
they were hiding behind.
Yeah, exactly. When the sound is there, you kind of hear the sound cues, you know that there's something coming, but regardless, oh!
There's the player!
He comes in from the side. They both edit into the same box from different walls, and that's going to be the end of probably both of those duos, unfortunately, because they're fighting right on the edge of zone and with walls ahead of them as well. They're not going to be able to make their way out that easily, and a lot of players are going to realize exactly what's going on. But look how high Vapors and Yuto are right now, and we're already down to 12 teams in this game, Zeke.
I mean, they've got the builds, they've got a flint knock, they've got a chug splash, just a single one if they need to get crazy. They dropped out in the box, the first shot misses, 125. And Land gets destroyed there. The chug splash gonna help top him off. Unfortunately, look, his dual partner Yuto up above has been dropped, so now it is all on the shoulders of Vapor. They have 3 eliminations between them, so they've got to chain together more if they're looking for more points. Thankfully, the Storm goes back the opposite way.
And look who actually took high ground from them. It's Destiny's Jesus and Pyro, who we saw in with before, and he still has that GL that he's been using the grenade launcher from range, finding himself one before, and actually going to find another Rift to go. Not going to be that useful right now, but that GL is going to be, because they are having a free roam range right here up on top. They can throw this GL down in so many different cracks. And did he get it in that wall? Yes, but it's not going to find any damage. Actually, somebody fighting for height right now, but with those build fight tactics that he's been working on, he's going to go ahead and crank right back up and not let him take it. But in this case, does end up taking it. The chug splash coming in. Ooh, a Rift play. This is kind of an all or nothing. They might land on Alpha and Blaster right here. No, they're going to go ahead and scoop back out of the zone, but no, Pyro did. And Destiny's Jesus didn't, so a little bit of miscommunication right here. Is Destiny's Jesus going to be able to maybe knock this out? Because I know Pyro has something. He does find Blaster, so is he going to actually take this team on head-to-head right now and possibly put themselves in position to win this game? Destiny's Jesus making his way right back up, and this fight is for all the marbles. The spam coming in from below, and that's going to be the end of Blaster and Alpha. Pyro and Destiny's Jesus took the high ground.
This is so huge. All he had to do was buy the time for the siphon to come through, and that's exactly what he did. Look, Alpha dropped all the way down. He was like, look, you know what? That entire fight is lost. And now Destiny's Jesus and Pyro can rejoin. Down below, Pablo is going toe-to-toe with Alpha. And look at this, Suicide Mark as well. He gets traded out. And now Pablo is in a 1v2.
I think actually Destiny Jesus just knocked a few GLs down there, but he falls to his elimination right there. He gets knocked, and right now Pyro's making the slow climb down. It's now a 1v1 as Alpha goes down, but Pyro takes out Vapor, and the Victory Royale puts them at 63 points to win that game.
Man, so don't forget, we've seen quite a bit of points. They very well could be contesting for top 5 right now, and that would be absolutely huge. But of course, more games, more action to tune into. We're over by Tomato Temple. Look at it. All hail your tomato overlords.
Well, right now, just a recap of where we're talking about in terms of standings. You said that the highest points that we saw was, what, 77?
77.
So
that's the highest we've seen so far.
Destiny, Jesus, and Pyro at 63 or maybe 64, depending on how that updates with that last elimination. They could be pushing up towards not necessarily qualification range just yet, but another one of those performances, and they very well could be. Remember, though, the queues are closed, so that could have been the last game.
Oh,
here's
Mitro!
Takes out Mitro, and his teammate Vermax is already down, so Mitro himself did not have his duo partner Mongrel, but we already know their prowess. They've, you know, it seems as if they've qualified multiple times for duos already, Mitro and Mongrel, so they're not worried about that. Obviously not getting a chunk of that $2 million that's spread across all the regions. But again, talking about the scores and the standings, right now you can see Frenzy and Ads are already kind of tied with that last team that we saw.
Yep.
So possibly
and if I
push
remember,
up through this game.
If I remember, it was Stomping Toshinkan, right, that had 77. If I remember correctly, it's honestly there's been so much action.
If that's an assumption that we're trying to make, I think we can go ahead and make that comfortably.
I think what I was also going to say in regards to that is that don't forget they've already qualified, right? So even if that shifts